Just gonna tell you how I feel. Look. You so fucking precious when you smile. Yeah. Hit it from the back and drive you wild. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Promised Neverland Episode 1 showed promise of great art, a great story, and overall fantastic adaptation. And they did exactly what they set out to do. There's phenomenal art segments, unique character design, and a dead baby in a pickle jar. I think it's an anime that absolutely every anime fan should at least try to watch. This is the review of The Promised Neverland. What's going on, everybody? Ben Shapiro here, and today we're going to be reviewing The Promised Neverland. I know the show isn't quite over yet, but I've read the manga, so I'm pretty sure 11 episodes is enough for me to review. So let's get to it. The Promised Neverland is centered around three kids, Norman, Ray, and Emma. They're raised in an abnormal orphanage in which they're tested every day. The trio are geniuses, which all get perfect scores. But regardless of that weird shit going on, they're raised with love and affection by Mama until discovering that instead of an orphanage, they're being raised in a farm. This opens the floodgates to a myriad of mindfucks and intricate escape plans. You'll spend your time on the edge of your seat, constantly being misled by all the left turns. The way I see it, there's two types of shows. There's shit that's fun to watch, like Dragon Ball Z, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and Black Clover. You may notice that generally the story is some doo-doo fart face fuck shit. But because of visuals and the hype, it's fun to watch. Then there's shows that are actually good, your Code Geass, Death Note, all that. Now The Promised Neverland sits in the category of actually good. The story is set in a highly unique setting, I haven't seen anything like it yet, and that causes a ton of interesting dynamics between the kids. For example, the interactions between Mama and the kids were really interesting to watch. Here we have three kids that have had their entire world flipped upside down by this woman, and yet they're forced to play it off. And then there's a dilemma, do we escape on our own or do we leave as a family? And it's the many complications like this that grew my fondness for the story. And as the story goes on, all these little complications evolve and develop, and it's super well thought out. Now the last thing I want to address is the plot twist. I've never seen a series pull off so many of them without me thinking, oh man, cut that shit out. Every twist that happens is a response to another thing, none of them are forced. It's a story that easily gets you invested, both emotionally and intellectually. So, to wrap this up, I'm just gonna say this story is for everybody. I think this is a perfect show to be like, oh, did you see that crazy shit last episode? With your friends every week.
I don't like you back, as expected of Danny DeVito, senpai. It can't be helped.
Did you know that all Japanese people are parrots and only know the same 6 sentences? Jokes aside, if you hate those cliches, The Promised Neverland stays away from that shit. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that this is a god-tier cast with some great dialogue. Norman, Ray, and Emma are all super cool. They're extremely smart and analytical. I've never punched the air thinking, why would you do that? They all have their merits, and any one of them could easily be your favorite. Then there's Phil, who's the best character in anything. Any show, any TV show, any movie, anything. Now, usually in anime, you get a great cast, then some obnoxious-ass side characters. I can't say The Promised Neverland had any of those. The rest of the kids are all competent and smart in their own way, and there's a reason for that. Their whole existence is to be smart. And you know you have a fantastic villain when you think, well, shit, did they really do anything wrong? Mama is so likable as a character, partly because I can't say she really did anything wrong. And I've never watched a review of this show or anything, so I don't know what the general consensus is on Crone, but I actually like that bitch. She's pretty interesting as a character. So overall, I think the characters really drive this show to the next level. There's no overreacting, there's no cliches and shitty dialogue. Before we get to this section, I would like to run a quick test. Just please look at these photos. Okay, and just one more. Okay, thank you for your patience. And the results are in, okay. It says here, if you thought to yourself, oh, he looks cool, you were dim, you were below human, you are a pinhead. I don't care what anybody says, these are the same person. Now in direct contrast, the character design in The Promised Neverland is so original. No one looks like Emma, no one looks like Norman. Maybe someone looks like Ray, but nobody looks like this buff bitch. But that's not where the innovation stops. The camera angles throughout are so unique to anime as a genre that you can't help but notice. Now they definitely do overuse this autofocus thing, but besides that, every shot is so beautiful and well used. They're amazing for building up tension in the atmosphere. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, check this out. There's scenes sort of similar to this peppered throughout the show, which keeps you on edge. One more thing I'd like to note is the contrast between the gorgeous upbeat outside and the bleak just fucked up inside of the house. I'm sure they did this on purpose. The house has become a prison to them while the outside is a reminder of freedom. That's just my bullshit. Anyway, art gets an A++. Hey buddy, do you remember 3 years ago at Topgolf when the employee said, "Have fun," and your dumbass said, "You too"? So now every couple of months you're trying to sleep and you're haunted by the memories of being such an awkward fuck up? The problem was, you couldn't read the mood. You couldn't read the atmosphere. The Promised Neverland, on the other hand, is an anime that knows how to read the mood. There's a perfect song or sound for every situation. The immersive sound design coupled with the innovative art scenes are sometimes used to create some really creepy ass high tension scenes. To understand what I mean, I prepared a little clip. Now, I did not edit the sound. The first time I saw this shit, I was like, hold up, what the fuck did this bitch just... It's just a creepy and fucked up scene. I don't know what kind of psychopaths came up with that shit, but it's moments like these that really define the show for me. But I won't lie to you, there's not a single memorable track in this show. However, I don't think that was even the intention. Every time music is used, it conveys a mood perfect for that scene. I think sometimes, just sometimes, the best soundtracks are the ones that you don't normally hear because you're so immersed in the story. But when you feel that lump in your throat from emotion, boom, it's been playing the whole time. But let's talk about the sound design. I don't know shit about it, but I'm pretty sure The Promised Neverland is doing something right. Details like long walks down the hall accompanied only by footsteps or the ticking of a clock during conversations are a really nice touch. Overall, there was clearly a lot of care put into the sound, and I think that combined with the art makes this anime gorgeous. When the first episode aired, I said that The Promised Neverland is a must-watch, and I stand by that. I mean, passing scores in sound, art, characters, and story is a recipe for a masterpiece. There is a level of quality we're just not getting with other shows. Aesthetics aside, the story is really intriguing and innovative. My verdict is, you have to at least try it. It's a perfect mix of shonen, mystery, and psychological horror that makes it a fit for most people. I will say the anime did omit a lot of shit from the manga, so if you read, I definitely suggest reading to get the most out of the story. That's it, that's the video. If you enjoyed, you know, do you think I'm full of shit? Comment down below, I'd like to hear what you think. Peace.